Soon I'm gonna add some cylinders, so it's not just a sphere
So,
there in the corners. But
so you built this whole place from scratch?
well, yeah, the whole team has been working on this from scratch and stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
How
mainly
long has it been
build in
taking you?
script. Oh, it's been taken probably about a month to get this far.
Okay, so what can you say that you actually worked on?
Well, I helped around with some of the building, like the vehicle assembly building. Some
Hmm.
of the buildings back here in ground crew. I'm still working on the main ground crew building. I've built all the vehicles and everything that has meshes in them. So the shuttle and everything. Um,
I like it. I mean, it looks pretty well. Is that the transport, the shuttle transport to the right or to your left? No, right there.
well, here, this is actually a reference
Okay.
from.
Oh, okay. So this is
This
like a.
is something that somebody gave me that they built.
Mhm.
So I'm using it as reference for our own because it's pretty dang realistic.
I like it. I mean, but the problem is trying to paint it all, and you can't really do that in here.
No, you can
You can.
paint.
How do you paint surfaces in here? Oh, because they're all separated.
Yeah, you
So it's
make a
not
bunch
just
of
it's
different parts.
okay. So it's not just one giant mesh piece. It's actually a bunch of separated pieces to do.
Yeah, and even if you would just use meshes and textures,
Hmm.
so you could like put a texture on a mesh and stuff.
Okay.
If you wanted, but I'm not in the habit of using textures yet. Trust me, textures aren't the way you want to go. They can
Textures
look
aren't
pretty
what.
ugly.
What's a better way to go then?
Just coloring a bunch of different parts and meshes overall, because when it textures, it can get kind of sloppy. Like I'll
Doesn't
show you an example.
doesn't like a texture also like if it's not done correctly or a nice resolution, it kind of stretches out and pixelates.
Um, I mean, yeah.
Because
Well,
I
wait.
remember when
Yeah,
we were
well,
doing the theme park one, and I was giving you textures, and because it was like too small, it was like it didn't look good.
Well, that's not a texture, that's a decal. Textures are a bit different than decal. I'll
I
show
can't hear you.
you. Now can you?
Yeah, you got to keep it close.
All right.
It's
Well,
like right in front of
there's
you.
a difference between textures and decals.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
are you live streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
Yeah. That's where the conversation I'm having with you is mostly just talking about what went into making this.
Oh.
Um, so
So, here I'll show you like the difference between textures and decals.
okay.
So here, if I put it on a decal, it gets stretched, right?
Yeah.
Pretty bad. But a texture does that.
Oh, it repeats.
Yeah. So
As soon
say
as the edge
you
is over, it
so
repeats itself.
yeah, so say you have like concrete texture. You could make it look all like concrete, like images concrete. We can make it look better with textures
Hmm.
and and it and it continue to go without looking kind of weird. You see I can just keep on going and it won't affect it at all. It'll all look normal. Rather
Yeah.
than if I were to make this a decal, um, and put it in, it would kind of look really funky. So here, I'll remove the texture. This is what it looks like with the decal. Very
Okay.
unrealistic, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can tell it's linear. You can tell it's like see how it's got that line all the way the long ways because it's trying to stretch to the image.
Yep, that's exactly how decals work. And you really only use decals for like a logo
Yeah.
rather than a texture because the texture is gonna just repeat. So yeah.
But you also have to be careful with that because unless your whatever you're putting a decal to is exactly the same aspect ratio of whatever your image is, it'll
Like
stretch it like that.
yeah, like right here, this is a decal because you need to kind of stretch some decals because if you searched up NASA logo, NASA logo, you're gonna see they're all stretched. So
Mm,
that's why you always use a decal for a NASA logo. It can be really anything.
okay.
And there's many different uses for decals between textures. And here around, I mainly do all of the scripting and all the mesh building. So there's a lot of meshes in this one,
Yeah.
even though we're gonna make another VAB, vehicle assembly building. Well, I already have it. I mean, but
Is there anything inside here, or is it just all exterior looking?
oh, it's just all for exterior.
Okay, because it's not really meant to be usable just at right now.
Yeah, because the it's supposed to be pre-done, pre-made.
Mm,
So like the already rolled out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah. Want to see the shuttle now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. I'm
See, what
just
would be
gonna.
kind of cool is if you can find a way to get it to set up where actually the shuttle is rolled out from the VAV.
Yeah, it is gonna. We're gonna have like a thing.
So, and when it comes to coding, how long did it take you to really get into it?
Very long.
Very long.
Yeah, it can be quite hard and difficult.
What do you actually do? Like, what? Oh, let me bring that back on.
What?
No, I'm just bringing the shuttle. So, I
Okay.
mean, obviously, you had to put lines of code into this to make it work correctly.
Huh?
What exactly special coding did you use in this?
Oh well. I mean, tween
Like,
service
what
and
is your like what's your like your favorite thing that you put in this?
I definitely say tween service. Tween service can be very useful. Um. Oh, also, can you link your channel?
Huh? Oh, give you the link to the channel.
Yeah.
1 second.
But coding can be very tedious. Cause like if you like mess up your prefix or your indentation, the whole code will break. If something is wrong, it won't work at
Mm.
all. So
It looks like it's. I mean, it's just you basically set up a bunch of different test areas to build everything, and then you're gonna kind of can join them all together, right?
yeah, basically. So basically, when we in the KSC build is the main game, and we're gonna put everything in there. We're gonna put everything in the KSC build. So when we
So
do that, we'll just publish it another game onto the group, and then we'll just change a couple settings, like the avatar type to R6, and
mhm.
then so the code doesn't bug out, and then yeah.
Okay, so also in the shuttle itself, you built the shuttle from top to bottom.
Yes, the shuttle was all me. Besides, a friend's little help on the interior, just a little bit of help. It's really a team effort
Mm. How many
on
people
the
would you say
interior.
actually helped build this?
Eh, like just me and my friend on the shuttle,
Oh, okay.
and then I got a couple people to help with the Kennedy Space Center build, but
Mm.
not many people, and some people I decided to stop because well, one person I had to stop because like they I had to stop because they why is my brain not working? They were more of an ancient builder. They were trying to go for create for creative liberties for sci-fi, which is not what we're going for. We're going for as realistic as
So
possible.
more authenticity as opposed to just sci-fi.
Yeah,
Okay.
we really want it to look exactly, and we want this to be the most accurate space shuttle simulation on Roblox. But this guy wanted to have creative liberties. Oh, by the
That's
way, can you edit out the face cam because people aren't really supposed to see my face
yeah, that's fine.
on Roblox because there's a lot of controversy that comes with a group like mine. So the last
Controversy
thing that
because
yeah, because there's a lot of rumors of stealing. That's just what happens really in the space community.
mm,
All rumors of stealing and
well, I mean,
underage
you also
and
got to
stuff like
remember
that.
that Roblox is pretty much a public forum meant to for people to just be a part of. And
Yeah,
when people say they're stealing, it's all public. I mean, once you put it onto the Roblox channel, it's pretty much free for everyone to use. And when people say they're stealing, it's just not. I don't know why people get upset about that. So I mean,
yeah,
you're
I
good.
mean, I don't steal stuff, and obviously, I can understand why nobody would want them to steal because it's their hard work
Yeah.
that they took time and effort into. So,
So real quick, before we started that you showed me the fire of reentry. Can you show that real quick? Because I actually thought that
very
was really
intriguing.
neat. So
Yeah, sure.
um, the idea is that when it's going to be triggered, that when it comes into atmosphere, when the shuttle is re-entering, that it'll give off this effect. Is that right?
Yes. So when you click the deorbit button, it's gonna have reentry heat. So here reentry, I turned it on. It takes a couple seconds.
Because it's trying to react in real time, as
Mhm.
opposed to just like automatically turning on.
Uh huh.
There it is. I can see it slowly starting to glow.
Mhm. And you can see these effects that I put on.
Heat trails, yeah. No, it's exactly what it looks like. If you ever see like Apollo 13 or the show From the Earth to the Moon, it looks what they've done in graphics departments, what they've done in actual footage looks like that because what's it is happening is the heat shielding
Mhm.
is actually causing that effect. So no, I think this is you did a really good job. There's a lot on there. There's a lot of content that went into it, a lot of months and time. If you want to, let me bring that back in. Um, the the builder aspect of it alone is actually pretty accurate. Like when I look at it, it's pretty good. I mean, obviously everything's not like 1 to 1 because there's not enough pictures of documentation showing what it looks like. But from what you've collected, it looks great.
Mhm. Yeah, because NASA really doesn't have many photos because obviously they're not media.
Yeah.
So
Well, it alone. What did you build the entire thing? This what we're seeing here, or is there anything that you collected from other model makers that helped make this, or was this all pretty much you from top to bottom?
this was all pretty much me. Um, really, the only thing that I would say is like my friend really helped me with the my friend really just helped me with some of the interior, you know?
Okay, so he did more of the interior. You built the outside. He took care of like a lot of the stuff.
Just some of the he didn't help like a lot, but I mean like he did some of the main structure like these you see that this wall right here.
Yeah.
He did that and stuff, but
Oh, like the
I mean
convex.
yeah,
Okay.
but the whole bottom floor was actually me with
So
scripting this and stuff.
is the point eventually when like the concept is eventually that those doors will obviously open. Um, how is the point of the mission basically to launch from Earth, reach orbit, and return? What's the end game goal that you would like to see this turn out to be? Like, is it
The space shuttle program in general.
well for this game? Yeah, is it mostly just like I said? Is it mostly just you're in command, taking a shuttle into outer space, do a an orbit around the Earth, and then come back, or is it to go out into space, do some sort of small mission and then come back, or is it to make it basically like Kerbal Space Station where you actually go to another planet? What's I mean, if you were to say a dream goal to make out of this that is feasible because of how much limitations there are with Roblox, what would you like to see happen?
I would like to see like a bunch of modules, satellites to launch up. But overall, I hope just to explore, research Roblox physics, because there's a lot of unknowns about Roblox physics. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
nobody really that's been studying it until my group came along. Um, so we actually we've been researching spaghettification. So spaghettification is when you go high in Roblox, the higher you go, the
Mm-hmm.
glitchier your avatar will get. Like, it'll kind of shake. So your your avatar will kind of like be more pixelated. So we're kind of like we're researching that, but
Okay.
I also hope to to really open up space to the Roblox community
And
and
just make
get,
it more of an opportunity of people saying it's almost like it's really you're trying to do Kerbal Space Station, but from Roblox, which allows you to do it from your cell phone, because there's very, very, very little games that allow you to do something very similar to Roblox, Kerbal Space Station, but especially on your cell phone. I think this is a great idea.
well, it's a bit different than that. We actually hire astronauts. There's like there's applications, there's a whole process to become an astronaut. We have mission control astronauts, ground crew, all that kind of stuff. We're not
Oh,
really just like a game. We're more of like a community. Like, kind of like it's like real life basically,
okay.
but
So
put
what?
into Roblox.
So you joined the NASA Aeronautical Space Administration actual group. It's a Roblox group,
That I made
which I will make sure we put the banner up so that way they can actually see it.
and link
Um,
in the description.
Yeah, well, I'll put the link in the description, but I'm also gonna put the banner up so that way they can actually see the name. So if you guys want to search that, that's actually if you go onto Roblox and look for the group.
You can
Um,
you can search NASA in groups, and there's obviously like a whole bunch of different NASA groups that are definitely higher and uh kind of better-ish than us, but we're really far up on it. So
okay, right
we're like
now
we're
this
on
is the
the
group, right?
yeah, we're on the sixth. We're the sixth on the page one. If you just search for NASA and groups, so
Okay. So there's a YouTube channel. There's a communication server for Discord.
mhm.
Um, you guys have a store? Oh yeah, a couple shirts, couple things.
Yes. The reason why we actually sell stuff for Robux is because we really need to have profit,
Yeah.
because we need to pay for a bunch of things really to keep the group going
Hmm.
and to keep it financially supported, to have people continue to work here. So
Okay. And then
so when you buy stuff, it really supports the group
yeah,
a
well,
lot.
right now it looks like you have 635 members.
Mhm.
Um, and growing. So basically, what it is the members are actually not just people just to look. You have it set up so that way they apply to actually be astronauts in the actual creation, the game itself. By doing this, you determine who's going to be the person who flies, who's a captain, who's a co-pilot. or commander,
Mhm.
who's a co-pilot, whatever they are, just like actually how NASA does it.
Mhm.
Um, and pretty soon, are you guys going to set it up so that way, like you actually schedule flights, like how NASA used to do it? NASA would schedule flights every so many months, where Apollo 11, Apollo 12, 13, all the different flights. Are you guys going to actually have it to the point where once this is completed, you will actually have a flight schedule and you'll have it set up where these astronauts are preparing for those missions?
Well, we actually already have that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we schedule launches. We have visitors that can watch. We have a bunch of different ranks, really.
Hmm.
So,
That's cool. I mean, I like it. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anything like this. So the fact is that a, it's no longer just a Roblox idea. It's actual community being employees. So you can almost get it to the point where if anybody doesn't really want to get to the point where they can, I mean, I would say even joining the group to be graphic designer. I mean, join the group to be someone who helps come up with certain things. That's their job. And there's people that say, okay, well, I just want to be here because I'm really good at flying. Well, then you put in your application to become a pilot, and you prove your skills. Is that right?
hmm well, we really decide who is going to, what role they're going to be on the mission in training. We observe them in training.
Hmm.
Um, So yeah, we have astronaut applications, but we don't really do pilot applications, commander applications, mission specialist applications. We just have one simple astronaut application, and we determine their roles based off of their skill level compared to
Okay.
everybody else on the crew.
Okay. Well, I think it's a great idea, especially for Roblox. Like I said, because Roblox was meant and designed to be played on every platform, as opposed to being limited to just computers. It's available. I mean, you can play it on like you can play it on your cell phone, you can play it on an iPad, you can play it on the Xbox. I believe, is it on PlayStation? I don't know if it's on PlayStation
No,
or not.
it's not.
Okay.
But
Well,
um, but we don't. We have kind of a system where we only allow PC people, computer people, to actually be on the missions because the mobile and everything else. They first of all. It's just mobile itself doesn't have the skill set and the capability to be um, in any of the fields. And second, it's also only scripted for computers. So
oh, okay. So you lose a lot of the experience by trying to play it on PC, on a cell phone or iPad.
yeah, you can't really be you can't really be in you can't really be an astronaut or ground crew or anything on mobile because it just doesn't have, first of all, it's not scripted to be working for any of those mobile
So
Xbox anything.
So are you more focusing on the graphics user interface, the GUI? Are you more focusing on the way it looks, the way it works to predominantly be effective more for PC than anything? So like you're not working about like, okay, let me get my cell phone out. Oh, it doesn't look, the graphics don't look good on a cell phone. You're not worried about that at all because you'd rather focus on people playing it on PC than anything.
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about for like the astronauts themselves.
Hmm. I get what you mean, but what I'm trying to say is like, because I remember when we were building that the Easter game. I was going back and forth on my cell phone or my iPad to make sure that the graphics looked good, the buttons and all that stuff were okay. They were not blocking anything because I knew there was going to be some people playing it on their iPads. They're going to play on their cell phones. So I was worried about playing it both on the PC as well as as the as a mobile devices. So I tried everything I could to make sure that it looked like balance. But as of right now, you're more worried about how it looks like the interface and how the scripts are working specifically for PCs, right? So the way the astronauts interact with device items, you're not worried about how it looks. Like if it does come out looking on a cell phone, you're more worried about what how someone, because you want people to work on, you want people to play this game on a PC.
Kind of the visitors we aren't like we care about the graphics for every device and all the UIs and stuff. It's just that the things that only astronauts or ground crew will be using is that it's just gonna be PC. But the graphics are gonna look great for all devices depending on what graphics quality that you have.
Okay. So, will it ever be to the point where there's stuff other than astronaut works? I mean, that'd be kind of cool to make it so that way. I mean, what's the maximum amount of game players are allowed during one game session?
Well, we have astronaut, we have ground crew, we have closeout crew, we have all these different roles, mission control, etc., etc.
I mean,
So
is there the reason why I'm getting into that is because I was thinking. I mean, just I'm throwing out ideas. It's not something that you have to do or anything like that. I'm just throwing out ideas that kind of be kind of fun. Um, in all landings and all takeoffs, there's also like emergency tech groups. So there's like police officers or firemen, stuff like that. It'd be kind of cool, like if you actually had people who, well, if you're gonna play with your cell phone, you're only allowed these certain jobs. If you're playing with your mobile device, you're only allowed to. So, like when you do a launch, I don't know if you guys ever have this issue or if it'll ever come up. It'd be kind of cool if you did, where if there was a crash or there was a situation where people who were playing on their cell phones were a part of the fire team. So they specifically were only, doing that, and the people who are on PC are the ones who are actually running like other more important things, if that makes sense.
yeah, we have emergency teams and police officers and stuff. But as I said, like the mobile player base doesn't it just doesn't have the physical capability to do
Okay.
it because you like mobile it's near to impossible to make it so you can drag the hose from a fire truck on mobile.
Hmm.
It's near impossible. You have to click and hold.
Okay. Well, I
Well,
just thought
not hold, but
I was trying to
like
figure out like some other fun stuff to to add on to it, because there is so
yeah,
much you
but
can do, especially in here.
yeah. We might make mobile players ambulance, but because that's pretty much the only thing that a mobile player would be able to do, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a fire team or ambulance team or something like that, where that's their job. If something goes wrong, you can always do that. But then that also you're gonna also look into um, like the physics of a crash for your vehicles. Then you have to look in the
Yes.
physicals of the crash like that, and how much can they like if they actually crashed, would they anybody survive, kind of thing. So you got to figure out like all that craziness. So I'm thinking this is definitely going to be like a year long production.
Well, we have had space shuttle launches in the past, and we're almost done with actually setting everything up, but we do have risk of mission failure. There always has been. It's a 1%, which is kind of big but launchable, you know.
Is it mostly because the software, the coding that you put in, is it mostly because it's like dummy proof that it automatically does it, or I mean, you push a button, it automatically launches and does everything for you, or is it more along the lines of you actually have to control it a little bit more?
Well, you control it and there's automation too.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, the only reason I'm asking is because, like I said, I wanted to figure out if it was, yeah, like if it's like an autopilot when you push, okay, I'm going to launch and go to space, push a button and it automatically takes you, or you actually have to control it, kind of like Kerbal Space Station. Like if you don't do it right, you're going to fail.
yeah, if you don't do it right, you're probably going to fail.
Okay. I think this is actually a really great idea for a game. It's a great idea for a concept. When you get down to it, totally. I mean, it's gonna end up being something bigger than a lot of people are saying. Because once it's done, I think once it's done, it's gonna be a lot more interesting because of the fact that um, there's nothing like this on any other platform. I mean, you can play multiplayer on Kerbal, but it's horrible. I remember when we tried to do it, it's really glitchy. It was never meant for it. Had they actually come out with a version where you can actually play multiplayer, it might be fun. But this is like that next step. If this can be upgraded to be almost that level, but I mean, who really wants to? I mean, the only reason why people like playing Kerbal Space Station is because you can build your own space shuttle. But then, how long are you playing to figure out the entire concept of like this spaceship will work just perfect every time I fly it? It's hard. I mean, we tried playing that. I mean, how long did it take us to finally figure out how to set up the jets, how to set up the fuel lines, how to set up all that stuff, which is real. It's nice, but it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it like this, where it's like dead on accurate to the point where I mean you're even driving the bus. I mean like there's your ground crew. Like there's an example. You're a driver that drives the astronauts from quarantine to launch. You're a part of the crew. I don't know how you can figure that out to that plugs in or to make sure they're buckled in or something like that. I mean that's amazing to me that the idea of that where you have an entire community of gamers that come together for a launch. They're scheduled for a launch. So like I think what's the maximum amount of players per game is like what 100.
Yeah.
So you got 100 people playing one game at one time. All of them are doing something. Obviously, it's like what 3 to 5 people in the shuttle, and
There's
then
actually maximum of 7, but usually the maximum that we've actually had on a mission is 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly, but
okay.
it's 4 or 5.
So you got these people in the shuttle, but then you got all these people doing other things and making sure that the launch goes perfect.
Yeah.
And then maybe even set it up so that where there's what 20 people who are live spectators in the seats watching the countdown. That's amazing.
Hmm.
That's ridiculous. And even getting it to the point where you have multiple shots of people like playing the game from their aspect, like so that they're you set it up so that where their first person, their gaming experience is first person, and almost acting like a camera, I guess you could say. And if you put it into a live stream, all their different feeds, it's almost exactly like watching a live stream of a real shuttle launch if you set it up right. And I think that's awesome.
We actually we do have a live streaming waiting screen and stuff where we actually have official cameras on our YouTube channel, and
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick, actually.
but yeah, you can
So you
kind of see
actually have a
some
couple
videos,
videos here.
yeah, that have the loading screen. Like you
Hmm.
can watch the live stream test, and you'll see it all
So
here. By the way, they can't hear the music, just so you know.
that's okay right now. I mean, I got to figure out how to. I'm still getting used to some of this stuff. So let me
Yeah.
take this off real quick and let me see if I can re-add it. Oh, that's why, because I don't have it audio on. Can you hear that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we have various texts and stuff.
I'm digging the super jazzy music. That's pretty funny. Oh, that's funny. You guys actually did a Q&A.
Mhm.
What is ULA?
United Launch Alliance.
Very cool. I think um, oh, this was awesome. So are there any when's the next scheduled flight launch?
Uh, Well, we don't have an official launch schedule yet because the shuttle isn't finished yet. So,
Okay.
but we usually launch on weekends.
Okay. So that's the plan to eventually get to that point. Awesome. I think it's a, like I said, it's a great idea. If you guys are, I'm gonna share this video. Um, Make sure if now can anybody apply, or is it like they have to go through a screening process?
Anybody can apply, but not everybody gets in.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you should turn off the computer audio because it's echoing.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. So, um, right there on the screen is your avatar. This
Hmm.
little flight guy. Do you have able to show the other suits that people can use?
Oh, you want to see the special suits?
Yeah, the flight suits. Let me go ahead and go to.
Okay, I can show you the EMU suit and the flight suit. So the things that they'll actually be wearing. So here we got a flight suit. Hold on, it's a bit laggy. Uh, Waiting for the text to go. But yeah, these are the flight suits. I did the whole thing by myself.
And this is a
Here we
model
got.
based off of actual NASA
Mhm.
flight suits with the sun visors.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, we got those and stuff. We can remove the suits. The cameras work too. So let me rejoin to show you the EMU suit. But those are the only spacesuits that are actually NASA. So EMU suit.
That's cool. Does the visor work on this one as well?
No, because you're only gonna be wearing this in space, so we don't want the astronauts to be putting this visor up because it will burn their eyes. So,
Okay.
but yeah, the visor doesn't look good right now because I didn't put on the reflectancy yet, but it does look better when the reflectancy is up and stuff.
Okay.
But that's why it doesn't look shiny.
No, that's fine right now. I remember when you first built it, it didn't look anything like this. It was very, very cumbersome. The shape of it was a little bit big, and this one you definitely spent. You can tell you spent a lot of time on this one.
A lot of blender.
A lot of blender.
Yeah.
No, it looks good.
Hmm.
Have you gotten more into? Now, all this is pieces. Like you created all this in Builder, and then you basically
Blender.
added on. It's not like you used another program like a CAD program. You just used Builder to make the general form, and then you added it on slowly in Builder, right?
Yeah. So I've done Roblox Studio and Blender with this. It's mainly Blender, but there's a couple things that are Roblox Studio. But a lot of it, this is meshes. Even the body parts themselves to make it look like cloth.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I dig it. I think it's gonna be a great game when it's all said and done. Um,
Hmm.
I've I've seen what you've started out with. I've seen what you've come from, and I think this is actually gonna be really good. Um, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you go on to Roblox and sign up for the NASA National Aeronautics and Space Administration. But understand that it's not for everybody. Um, that there's a select team. You know, it's like you make sure you got the right stuff. Um, I think this was. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. It's gonna look good when it's all said and done.
Hmm.
So cool,
And
man.
the it's very strict in the applications, so you have to do like really, really, really well, you know?
Yeah, just saying hello to you guys. So all right. I think we'll just go ahead and end the stream from here. But I think people need to see this because it's gonna be really cool.
Hmm.
All right, man.